Palindrome problem is a very popular job interview question. During the job interview, you might be asked to write a palindrome code or maybe pseudocode. All right. Now, so there are a couple of solutions how you could solve this problem. I'm going to show you both of them, but my favorite would be with function range. All right. So let's solve this problem palindrome. The first thing, what is a palindrome? So palindrome is a word, phrase, number, or Python string that reads the same forward and backward. All right, so you probably heard about it. Now here there are a bunch of examples. Now let me grab first one. Racecar. All right, so the first solution that I'm about to show you is pretty simple, and believe me, it's not gonna work during the job interview. They want to see something more sophisticated. So the first solution would look like this. We could take that string, and using indexing technique, we could actually reverse it. Now let me explain you what's going on here. If you don't remember, to slice a string you need to provide index for start, for stop, and step. Let me remind you that stop is exclusive, right? And step is optional. By default should be 1. All right, so by default it's 1. Now, for example, if I want to grab the first 3 letters out of the string, so then my start point would be 0, and then 0, 1, 2, and then I need to use 3 because stop is exclusive and step by default is 1. Oops, and I forgot to place here a word, rookie mistake. All right, so now you see RAC, so that's slicing. So in this case, what I'm doing, I want to reverse it. And remember, no matter what string is, we always start slicing and counting at 0. So 0 would be the index of the first letter or character in the string, and -1 would always be index of the last one. So here we could say, hey, I want to start at last character R, and let me switch this word to apple for a second so it will make more sense. You see, so you want to say I want to start at E, and the index will be -1, and I want to go backwards. I want to go from right to left. That's what that negative step means. So technically we don't need to use this first index, and we could just leave it like this. Why? Because when you changing step to -1, it will flip default values for start and stop. Also, if it helps, think of that negative sign as direction, right? So if you got a positive sign, you want to go from left to right. If you got negative sign for a step, then you're going from right to left. And then the easy solution goes like this. You could actually compare two strings. So you could say word equal to reverse string. So obviously we need to flip back to racecar, and then you see that's true. Let me remind you what double equal sign means. It's a comparison operator. So pretty much you could say if 2 times 2 equal 4, and then you're gonna get true. So Python will evaluate this expression, and double equal sign means if they are the same, if there is a perfect match. And obviously if you try to do something like this, 2 times 2 equal 5, then you're gonna get false. So that would be double equal sign. So in this case, you're comparing the original string race car to reversed race car. So that would be the easiest solution, but we want to do something more sophisticated than that, and that's pretty much what people want to see during the job interview. All right, so what we're going to do here, we would need to use function range. Let me place it down here because I just want to make sure that you could see that solution. Now function range. We have a bunch of videos how to use function range. So if you're not sure how to use function range, run help on that function or check one of our previous videos, all right? So function range, what it does, produces a sequence of integers. That is it. That is it. And at least it requires one argument, one number, and then it will take that one number, and stop, we'll use it as a stop, so it will generate integers up to that number, and stop is exclusive, so please remember that, all right? Now, very popular use of function range is to generate index based on length of that word. So let me show it to you like step by step or in slow motion. So remember, there is function length. You could pass here a word and that will get us 7. Why 7? Because we got 7 letters here. That makes sense, right? So we could take this length word and place it here. So then what's going to happen if we print index, it will generate as index for each letter within that string. Again, you could watch one of our previous videos where I explained the difference between range function and enumerate, all right? But here we're gonna go with range. So, so you see we print an index, and then based on that index, we could actually fetch a letter by letter, you see? That makes sense. So my strategy solving this problem would be to take a first letter and compare it to the last letter, then the next one, and the next one, and then and so on. Now, to implement the strategy, what I need to do, I need to find the midpoint. By midpoint, I mean index of E. And how would I find it? You see, here we got 7 letters, so 7 is odd number. So if I just divide it by 2, I'm gonna get 3.5. But in Python, there is no index 3.5. You see, there is no 3.5. So I cannot use regular division. I would need to use something like a floor division. Let me remind you that floor division, what it does, it will return you whole number. It will round down that 3.5 to 3. So you see, and now lane word floor division 2. If we pass it here, it will get us what? It will get us letter E, which is a midpoint. But I don't care about this letter, frankly. What I want to do, I want to take that number, which is 3, and place it here. So let's see what's going to happen now. Function range will generate us numbers up to number 3, right? And you see I'm getting 0, 1, 2, and I'm getting RAC. So I'm getting the first 3. So now I need to figure out how to get the last 3 letters from that word. And just to show you and print everything, I'm going to use this label here. So you could see that in this case, we're going from left to right? So now we need to figure out how to go from right to left, again, within this range. All right, so how we're going to do it? Now, first thing first, we need to identify the index or positive index of the last letter, which is 6. Right? How do I know that that's 6? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But obviously, I don't want to count them all the time. So how would we get 6? All right, so you could always get positive index of any string by doing this little trick. So you could do len word, and that returns as 7, but there is no 7. So you need to decrease it by 1. So in this case, you're going to get 6. And what I have on line 23 will always get you a positive index of the last character or letter in any string, right? So that would be index of the last letter here, so I'm going to place it here, len word, and then -1 and minus index. So let's think about it. So that gets us 6 minus first iteration minus 0. 6 minus 0, 6, right? Second iteration, 6 minus index 1, 5. And then 6 minus 2 will get us 4. So what we could do, we could actually use it here to generate this index. And now let's take a look. So you see first iteration, first I'm going from left to right, index is 0, that kind of makes sense. Then here is going to be what? Len word 7 minus 1, 6 minus 0, 6. Okay, second iteration 1. Okay, makes sense. Now we're going backwards. So again, len word 7 minus 1, 6 minus index is 1. So 6 minus 1, 5. You see? And then the last one would be pretty much 6 minus 1. 7 minus 1, 6 minus 2, we're getting 4, you see? And we're going backwards. All right, so now let's combine the whole solution, how we're going to do it. So here I'll create a flag variable. What is a flag variable? Flag variable is just a variable name with a sign Boolean. Boolean would be true or false, right? So you know that. So is palindrome, and I assume that whatever user will give me would be a palindrome. So I'm gonna do it like here as true. And then here I'll add an if statement. So and then I say if, and this is my letter, right? So that would be my first letter. Not equal, exclamation point equal sign would be opposite of a double equal sign, so that pretty much means not equal to word len this letter. And then what I want to do, then I want to reassign the value of is palindrome to false. False, all right? And then here I could do if statement, and I could say something like this: if is palindrome, and I don't need to do equal sign because that will be overkill. That would be overkill because it's already true. And I could say, so if that's the case, then I will print, and I'll use my favorite method, format here, word is a palindrome. All right, okay, else, because there are two options, right? If and else then word is not a palindrome here. Word is not a palindrome, all right? And then how about we test our code? Always run your code, and then here instead of doing racecar, I'll ask user for input, and here I'm gonna do something like give me a word. All right, now let me run this, let me grab something from here, civic. All right, so what's the deal with the civic? Is it a palindrome? You see, that's the way it's actually. I mean, you could remove these print statements later. I'm gonna leave them here so you could actually run them. But you see the way it actually works. So civic is a palindrome. All right, cool. What about level? Okay, what's the deal with the level? So let's check level. All right, so level is, you see, LL, the first letter and the last letter. And you see, no matter what the word is, we could always find the right index, you see? And level apparently also is a palindrome. What's the deal with banana? Okay, so banana is not a palindrome, all right? So, if at first it looks a little bit too complicated, believe it or not, so you could actually practice this problem a couple of times, and if you practice this a couple of times, it will make a perfect sense. All right, so that's pretty much it for this problem. Also, I would recommend you to visit our website, RoboticView. There we got bunch of tutorials, and usually like once a week we do some kind of like Python meetups, such as Python 101, Python for data science. So sign up for those, and you can learn a bunch of useful stuff, how to use and write efficient Python code. All right, see you later. Thank you.